Hello, my dear friends of Maricita Colors in English. Today I have a new pattern. Is this nice beanie or slouchy that I made in knitting? Dos agujas en español. I use the rib stitch, punto elástico. After this I use the garter stitch, punto Santa Clara en español. And after this, the stockinette stitch and I alternate. This size is for teenagers and for us, the adults. Here I have 22 centimeters of white. Altogether are 44, but it's a little bigger. From long, I have 28 centimeters. This model I saw here in Germany is very nice and very warm. So now we will learn to make this beautiful slouchy. Before you begin to make your beanie, you must make a little pattern for calculate the stitches. Here I have 80 stitches with the needles number 3,50 millimeters. This is a crocheted beanie that I made before where I imitate these stitches. Here I made the rib stitch in crochet. Sure, are not the same, but are a little similar. It's a little stretch. This is a size for teenagers and adults too. This is 50 centimeters of white. The half is 25 centimeters. So I must calculate with my pattern. Like our thread is a little stretch, look, I will make 3 centímetros less, 3 centímetros menos en español. And from here, I will calculate how many stitches I have in this part, in this pattern. Here I have 18 stitches with even number. So 80 stitches less the 18 stitches are 62 stitches. So with this yarn and this needle I must make 124 stitches for that I have the same size. Now I will let you a table with size approximately. So this is the way that how you can calculate the stitches for make your beanie. This is the yarn that I will use. It's a merino yarn, extra fine 120. They say that I can use needles between 3 and 4 millimeters and I will use the 3,50 millimeters. I will calculate the 124 stitches. I will involve the yarn on my needle 124 times. Remember, you must have even numbers. Here I have the 124 times the yarn on my needle. I calculate for the stitches. I let some centimeters and I make out all the yarn of the needle. Now with the yarn that I calculate, I will make the cast on the stitches on my needle. I help me with my hand. I cut the yarn. Look, I make the needle on the center and from the left to the right to the center and on the needle. You must pull a little, not so stark. Again, the needle on the front and again from the left, right on the needle. Again, the needle on the front and again from the left, right on the needle. Like this I will make 124 stitches. Stitches puntos en español. Agujas, needle en español. Here I finished to make the 124 stitches. 124 puntos en español. And I have the yarn enough for to gut my beanie. We turn the knitting work and I will begin with the rib stitch, punto elástico en español. I begin with the knit stitch, the needle from the left to the right inside of the stitch. The yarn we must bring to the front between the two needles and we back the needle of the right needle we back and we catch the new yarn and this yarn go out. This is the first stitch, the knit stitch. Now I will make the purl stitch. We bring the yarn in the front and the needle goes from the right to the left. And we involve the needle with the yarn and we bring the yarn to the front too. And we back the needle and catch the new yarn. And this goes out. Yarn into the back and I will repeat the knit stitch. From the left to the right we insert into the stitch and we make the knit stitch. The rib stitch is one knit and one purl stitch and we must alternate until that we finish the row. Again, the yarn into the front and I will make the purl stitch. Punto revés en español. The yarn in the front, we back the yarn or the needle of the right and we have the new stitch. Yarn to the back and I will make the knit stitch. Knit stitch punto derecho en español. Like this I will make until that I finish the row. One knit and one purl stitch. Now I will make the knit stitch. Punto derecho en español. Yarn in the front and we make the purl stitch. We pull a little for that my border is uniform and we turn the knitting work. I will make the second row and I will repeat all the stitches. I made the purl stitch, in the opposite is the knit stitch. So in every row always we will begin with the knit stitch. From the second row I only pass the first stitch from the left to the right needle without knitting. For that my border is uniform. Yarn to the front and we will make the purl stitch, el punto revés. Yarn into the back, the knit stitch. Yarn into the front, purl stitch and yarn into the back to make the knit stitch. Like this I will repeat until we finish the row. Row, hilera en español. Here I finish the row. I will finish always in the purl stitch. I pull a little for that my border is uniform and we turn the knitting work. For me, this is the front of the work when the yarn of the beginning is in the right side. You can use the side that you prefer, naturally. Sure. Now I will begin the third row and I will repeat all the stitches. The first knit stitch only we pass, yarn to the front and we begin to make the purl and knit stitch. Like this I will make some rows. Here I finish the 10th row of the rib stitch, punto elástico en español. Here I have the 124 stitches. I make one knit and one purl stitch. The last always will be the purl stitch. We pull a little and we turn the knitting work. Here I have approximately 3 centimeters of long. Now I will make the garter stitch. How is the garter stitch? The garter stitch is rows of knit stitches for the front and the back of our thread. So, from here only I will make rows of knit stitches. The first stitch I pass and I begin only to make the knit stitch, punto derecho en español. I will make knit stitches in all these rows. Almost I finish the first row of the garter stitch, el punto Santa Clara en español. I only make knit stitches in all the rows. We turn the knitting work. We are for the reverse of the work. And I will continue making only knit stitches. Like this, I will make 14 rows that are approximately 3 centimeters. Here almost I finished the 14th row with the garter stitch. This is the reverse of the work. It's only one knit stitch in every row, or knit stitches in every row. I pull a little and I turn the knitting work. When I change the stitches, I always make in the front of the work. These 14 rows make approximately 3 centimeters. After that I finish the garter stitch, I will begin with the stockinette stitch. How is the stockinette stitch? It's rows of knit stitch in the front and rows of purl stitch in the reverse of the work. I will alternate the garter stitch with the stockinette stitch. Now I will begin to make again the knit stitch. I pass the first stitch and I only will make in all this row the knit stitch. From here I will make the stockinette stitch and always I change the stitches in the front of my work. Stockinette stitch, punto jersey or punto derecho en español. Here almost I finish the row. I make the last knit stitch. I pull a little for that my border is uniform. We turn the knitting work and now I am on the reverse. And look here, you can see the purl stitch because I made the knit stitch on the front. Now I will make only purl stitches. I pass the first stitch, the yarn is on the front, and from the right to the left we insert the needle, yarn on my needle, we are in the front, back the needle and we have the new stitch. Again from the right to the left and we make only the purl stitches until that we finish the. Now in the front only appears the knit stitches. Like this I will make 14 rows. This is the second row. For the front I will make the knit and for the reverse I will make the purl stitches. I will come back when I have the 14 rows. Now I finish the 14 row. I am on the reverse of the work. I make the last purl stitch, the needle back and catch the new stitch. Look the border. I pull always for that my border is uniform, and we turn the knitting work. Now I am on the front of my work. And look, here I have approximately 4 centimeters. Look, we have the same number of rows. And here I have 3 centimeters. The difference of the stitches make the difference of the size of our work, but both have the 14 rows. I will make again the garter stitch. The first stitch I pass and I begin to make only rows with the knit stitches. This is the first row of the 14 rows. Like this, I will alternate 14 rows with the garter stitch and 14 rows with the stockinette stitches. Here I made some centimeters of my slouchy. I make here the purl stitch. This is the group of the stockinette stitch. This is the reverse. We turn the knitting work and now I am on the front. I will tell you how many centimeters I have complete. Approximately 23 centimeters of long. If you don't want to make a slouchy, here I will let you one table with longs approximately. Now that I have the long of my slouchy, I don't alternate anymore the stitches. Here only I will make the stockinette stitches. Here I have 8 rows and I will begin to make the decreases. Here I will use the same technique of increases with my crocheted beanies, but I will make the opposite. I don't make increases, I will make decreases. In my crocheted beanies, I begin with 12 stitches, and after this I duplicate 24, and after this I make increases 12 in every row. Here I have 124 stitches on my slouchy. So I am looking for where are the 124 stitches that are here in the 11 row. In this 11 row I make every 9 stitches I make one increase. So now I will make the opposite. Every 9 stitches I will make one decrease. By example, if you have 140 stitches, you will make every 10 stitches one decrease. And if you have 150 stitches, you will make every 11 stitches one decrease. One tip, I don't make the decreases on the borders or close to the borders. I will make 9 stitches, 9 knit stitches, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 stitches. Here I will begin to make the first decrease. I will make 2 stitches together and I will make one knit stitch. And now 2 stitches are 1. This is one decrease. And we will repeat every 9 stitches I will make one decrease. I begin again to make 9 stitches. 1, 2, and here I have 9 stitches and I will make again one decrease. 2 stitches together. We insert the needle on 2 stitches and we make one knit stitch. This is 1 decrease. Like this I will repeat every 9 stitches 1 decrease. Here I made 9 stitches and I will make the last decrease. 2 stitches together and I will make 1 knit stitch. And now I have 3 stitches. I only will make the 3 knit stitches. Here I made 11 decreases. So I have here 113 stitches. We turn the knitting work and I only will make the purl stitch. Here I don't make decreases, only we make a stitch by a stitch. The first stitch we pass and we make the purl stitch, punto revés en español. Here I finish the row of the purl stitches. We pull a little and we turn the knitting work. Now I will make the second row of decreases. In the previous row I made every 9 stitches 1 decrease. Here I will make every 8 stitches 1 decrease and so on. In every decrease always we will make 1 stitch less. On another decrease will be every 7, every 6, every 5, every 4, every 3 and so on. Now I will make every 8 stitches 1 decrease. The decreases I will make only in the front of my work. 6, 7 and 8 knit stitches. Now I will make 2 stitches together. I will make 1 knit stitch. This is 1 decrease. And I will repeat every 8 knit stitches 1 decrease. Here I made 8 stitches, so I must make 1 decrease. 2 stitches together. And I make the last 3 knit stitches. Remember, don't make the decreases on the borders or close. We turn the knitting work and now only we will make the purl stitches. Here we don't make decreases. Here I finish the row of purl stitches. I pull always for that my border is uniform. We turn the knitting work and here I will make the third row of decreases. Now is every 7 stitches 1 decrease. I will make 7 knit stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 stitches and I will make 1 decrease. And we repeat every 7 stitches 1 decrease until that we finish the row. Here I made 7 stitches and I will make the last decrease. And I made the last knit stitches, 3 knit stitches. In this row I made 11 decreases, so now I have 91 stitches. Now I will make decreases until that I have 47 stitches. Remember, in every row of decreases is one stitch less between the decreases. I will make the last row of decrease. I will make every 3 stitches one decrease. Here I make the 3 knit stitches and I will make one decrease. Like this, I will repeat every 3 stitches. I will make one decrease. Here I made 3 stitches, so I must make the last decrease. I always open for that it's more easy to insert the needle on the stitch. We make 2 stitches together in one knit stitch. And I finish to make the 3 knit stitches. Here I have 47 stitches. I have 28 centimeters. So you can let the same number of centimeters in your thread. And I will make the row of full stitches. Here I finish the row of the full stitches. We turn the knitting work. And now, how are the decreases? It's very nice. Here I will add some centimeters because I will close my beanie hat. I will use a needle to sew yarn. With this yarn, I will sew the borders, the laterals too. Here I will begin to pass the needle into every stitch. Here I have 47 stitches. Here I finish to pass the yarn in all the stitches. And look, now I will pull for close over beanie. For the reverse, I will start to sew. We close the top of our beanie or SLOUCHY little to little until that is complete close over SLOUCHY. Now that I close good my beanie, I will start to close the lateral. We will pass the yarn to the front. We will close, we will join the front with the front. We must make that the stitches coincide. The stockinette stitch and the garter stitch, front in front. Here we open a little the stitches and I will start to pass front in front. Here, when I finish to join, I pass the yarn into the reverse and I sew good the yarn for that my beanie or slouchy don't open. And we have ready our beautiful slouchy that I made with the rib stitch, the garter stitch, and the stockinette stitch. Here I show you too how you must make the decreases. Look, it's very nice here in the top. Before I finish my video, I want to invite you to subscribe here on my channel Maricita Colors in English is total free. Remember, activate the bell to receive all the posts when I have a new video here on my channel. Thank you very much to all the persons that write, comment and give one like to my video. And we see us in my next crocheted or knitted pattern. Chao, chao. Muchas gracias, mis amigos. Hasta la vista.